Today, scientists have discovered many corpses of mermaids. They are found all over the world. Even many times the camera has accidentally recorded their existence. Here are some authentic videos that accidentally captured the sight of a mermaid. You and dear friends. Here are the world-famous mermaid discovery facts. And some mermaid mummies are still preserved to this day. First we will learn and explore the records of mermaids in history. In history, many people have seen mermaids, including very famous people in history such as Christopher Columbus, William Shakespeare, Pliny the Elder. With their reputation, there is no reason for them to make up stories. Archaeological finds. A very remarkable discovery. Archaeologists have found in Egypt drawings of prehistoric people in caves of the Stone Age, 30,000 years ago. These drawings depict creatures with the tails of fish, underwater fishing activities of this species. In addition, there are drawings of two-legged humans fighting with fish-tailed humans to compete for fishing areas. These drawings prove the existence of mermaids in history. Records in history. In his book Natural History, Pliny the Elder told the story of a French soldier who wrote to Emperor Augustus. The story says that a significant number of the sea goddess were found dead on the coast. They were women with strange, rough bodies, half human, half fish, with scales all over their bodies. In the ocean, they often ride dolphins, sea monsters, or seahorses. Pliny the Elder was a Roman author, a naturalist and natural philosopher, a naval and army commander of the early Roman Empire, and a friend of Emperor Vespasian. 5th century AD. In the book Physiologus is dedicated to writing about strange creatures, compiled by an unknown Greek author. There is a description of mermaids and their nature as follows. In the sea there are many mermaids. The upper half of the body is like that of a young girl, but from the navel downwards it is very much like a fish with fins growing out. This strange creature, living in an uncertain place, have very sweet, resonant voices, but they are very dangerous. The voice made the sailors forget to steer the ship. They fell asleep and woke up very late, causing the ships to sink into the whirlpool and could no longer rise. However, wise and prudent men can return safely. They escaped the mermaids with all the power they had. In the middle of the 13th century appeared a book called The King's Mirror. In the book described a creature found on the coast of Greenland. This creature resembles a woman from the waist up above, with hands, soft hair, neck and head completely human. The arms appear to be long and the fingers are connected by a swimming membrane like a propeller. From the waist down, this peculiar creature resembles a fish with scales, tails, and fins. These creatures often appear before Maho. Are storms. They dive, then surface, and play with schools of fish. They have very scary faces, wide foreheads with sharp eyes, wide jaws reaching to the ears and cleft chin. But when they met them, the sailors considered it a good omen because they would be safe in the storm. Christopher Columbus also saw mermaids in Dominica. Looking for a more convenient route to India, Christopher Columbus stumbled upon an archipelago in the Caribbean. In January 1493, he recorded in his diary that he had seen 3 mermaids. He also noted that they were not as beautiful as those depicted in fairy tales, and that they only had human-like faces. As for him and the rest of the crew, they were convinced that they had come face to face with this mythical creature. William Shakespeare wrote A Midsummer Night's Dream, between 1590 and 1594, which reads, "Since once I sat upon a promontory, and heard a mermaid on a dolphin's back uttering such dulcet and harmonious breath, that the rude sea grew civil at her song, and certain stars shot madly from their spheres to hear the sea maid's music." Researchers believe that what William Shakespeare wrote was not just fantasy, but most likely he witnessed the beautiful voice of a mermaid. Because in some later texts he also mentioned the above story. In 1608, Henry Hudson, a famous English marine explorer and navigator, arrived and explored the frigid northern waters off the coast of Norway. Here, his crew encountered mermaids, which he recorded in his diary as follows. This morning one of our company looking over the board saw a mermaid. From the navel upward, her back and breasts were like a woman's, her body as big as one of us. Her skin is very white, and long hair hanging down behind, of color black. In her going down they saw her tail, which was like the tail of a porpoise and speckled like a makrele. Japan is famous for its legends about a creature named Ningyo, Gyojin or Hangyoje. This creature can be compared to mermaids in Western culture, although they have a huge difference in appearance. In many descriptions, the image of a Japanese mermaid is quite scary. The head can be of a person or an animal, even a monster. If the head is human, its outer appearance will still look very deformed. On top of its head is horns like a devil, inside its mouth are sharp shark-like teeth, accompanied by fangs. The first recorded sighting of a Japanese mermaid was in 619, during the reign of Emperor Suiko. A mermaid was captured alive in the waters of Japan, and then presented to the emperor. The creature was then kept in a makeshift glass tank for palace guests to admire. Many Japanese sailors in ancient times in history have seen mermaids. They even accept it as a part of their daily lives because sightings happen quite often. For example, during the period from the 16th to the 19th centuries, it was not unusual to encounter these mysterious creatures swimming alongside boats, or trying to scramble fish from their nets. Even some Western explorers have encountered mermaids in the waters of Japan. For example, in 1610, an English captain claimed to have seen a mermaid at a pier at the port of Sentajanzu. The creature was swimming around in the nearby waters and was already quite close to the dock, where the captain was watching in amazement. Mermaids are depicted with a human head attached to the body of a fish, with a raised dorsal fin running down the spine. Maritime traders from the West have records of many encounters with mermaids in the waters of Japan. Many stories are recorded in their travel diary. Some captains even tried to avoid the Ningyo, trying to avoid encountering this unlucky creature. Modern records. Ladies and gentlemen, the story of the mermaid is not only described in ancient history but also in modern times. There are many records of the appearance of mermaids. One of the most fully documented mermaid encounters happened during World War II, when Japanese soldiers established a surveillance team on the K Islands of Indonesia. During their time there, several team members reported seeing a small, humanoid creature, lurking in the water, with numerous spines on its neck, and a head and mouth resembling a carp. This mermaid often roams in the lagoons and near the coast of the K Islands. Bewildered by what they saw, the group of soldiers told the story to the locals, and the villagers informed that this mysterious mermaid-like creature was also known as the orang-ikan. After witnessing the mermaid many times, the locals invited Sergeant Taro Hariba to go with the group, to see what people had caught in their fishing nets. Upon reaching the village, the sergeant entered the village chief's house and saw a creature of this type sprawled on the floor. Hariba describes the creature as having a small body, reddish-brown hair, many spines along the neck, a human face with a fish-like mouth but no lips and full of sharp teeth. Mr. Hariba was confused and shocked by what he was witnessing, and called for zoologists to investigate after the war ended. However, no one believed his story about the mermaids of the K Islands. In April 1990, Wen Wei Po reported that some scientists are trying their best to find the most amazing discovery of today's archaeology: the origin of the mummified remains of a mermaid 3,000 years ago. A team of construction workers found this unbelievable in a tomb where a treasure was placed near the Black Sea outside Sochi. The news of this discovery was recently announced to the West by Soviet archaeologist Dr. Jeremiah. She looks like a beautiful dark-skinned princess with a fishtail underneath. This amazing creature measures 173 centimeters in length from the top of the head to the scaly tail. Scientists believe she was about 100 years old when she died. On May 21, 1991, the American Weekly Word Report published an article titled, "Incredible Creature Swam the Seas 12,000 Years Ago. Mermaid Fossil Found." Excerpt from the article reads, "The fossil was discovered in a limestone outcrop on the coast of Yugoslavia, near the city of Šibenik, Croatia. Its perfectly preserved body had a mouth with strong jaw muscles, and razor-sharp teeth. This creature is female and probably roamed the ocean about 12,000 years ago. It was killed in an underwater landslide, was then encased in limestone, then gradually became fossil." Dr. J. Patrick O'Connor, archaeologist from California, who has worked at the Šibenik site, said, "This is the most complete mermaid fossil ever discovered in the world. Maybe they are. Ely did exist in our world. This 1.6 meter long fossil, from the waist up, is in the form of a human with fairly strong arms and a large, normally developed head. From the two hands grow sharp claws, eyes without eyelids, like fish eyes. In 2008, a mermaid named Kaiman caused a stir in South Africa. At that time, a group of friends were camping near the river when they heard the sound of tail wagging and pounding into the water. When the group went on a search, they found a woman in the water. This woman has a pale white appearance with long black hair. Her skin is milky white, which makes her body almost glow. The most shocking feature is that when the woman turns to look at the group of people, she has bloodshot eyes. One witness said the mermaid made a distressing sound that looked like she was crying. After clashing with the group of people, the mermaid disappeared into the murky water. The people of South Africa are very afraid of Kaiman because she is famous for pulling people underwater, and trapping them in the abyss by luring her prey. Most recently, in August 2009, people on the beach in the town of Kiryat Yam, Israel, occasionally caught a mermaid leaping very high out of the water. Do beautiful acrobatics before diving into the sea. A local resident, Shlomo Cohen, said that while walking with friends on the beach, they saw a woman lying on a rock. At first, Cohen and his friends thought that this was a beachman lying in the sun. As they approached, the woman immediately jumped into the water and disappeared. They were shocked to see this woman with a fishtail. The above information made many domestic and foreign tourists flock to this small town. Then two American tourists filmed a video of a creature with a fishtail lying on a rock. It dashes into the water when it sees someone. This video was posted on YouTube and has attracted millions of views. The local government has offered a reward of $1 million to anyone who discovers traces of the existence of mermaids. The mummies of the mermaid. Not only in legends or stories of mermaids in recorded history, some mummies of mermaids are still kept to this day. 13th century mermaid mummy at Ryuguji Temple, Japan. Legend has it that on April 14, 1222, a mermaid washed up on the shores of Hakata Bay, on the Japanese island of Kyushu. A shaman came to see and declared the mermaid's body a good omen for the nation. As a result, its bones were buried at Yukimido Shrine, also known as Ryuguji Temple. It is the palace dedicated to the god of the sea in Japanese folklore. In the Edo period, during the period from 1772 to 1781, the mermaid bones at this temple were excavated. Today, 6 pieces of mermaid bones are still kept here. However, Ryuguji Temple is not the only place in Japan that stores the bodies of mermaids. Another well-known temple is Tenshou Kyusha Shrine in Fujinomiya City, near Mount Fuji, which also holds the fairly intact body of a mermaid over 1,400 years old. It is said that on the verge of dying, this mermaid appeared in front of Crown Prince Shotoku at Lake Biwai. With his last breaths, the mermaid told the prince its sad story about itself. This mermaid was originally a fisherman. Because of fishing in forbidden waters, he was punished by the gods, had to turn into a hideous creature. Learned this painful lesson, and wanted to become a symbol of deterrence. This mermaid asked the prince to build a temple to display its hideous mummy, thereby creating a strange lesson, highlighting the sacredness of life, of lives. Many legends and myths are inspired by real history. Therefore, we should not hastily attribute all legends and myths to the fanciful imagination of the ancients. With the discovery of the above mermaids, perhaps we can't help but ask a serious question. Is it possible that mermaids actually exist to this day? They are hiding somewhere in the vast ocean around the world. I hope that we will have new discoveries of unsolved mysteries in the not-too-distant future. If you have any thoughts on this topic, please leave a comment below. Thank you for watching. For now, bye and see you in the next videos.